Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I've been getting a lot of requests lately of me doing a video about my father and what happened and how I'm doing. I just needed some time and some space for a little bit. I know it's been like several months, but I'm still not over it. It's not something you'll ever get over. It's not a happy thing whatsoever, no matter what happened at all. So I'm going to do a video of it, just giving you a quick swish pass of what went on with me, my mom, and my dad, and how it, So 6 years ago, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 esophageal cancer, which is your esophagus. He had cancer in his esophagus, which was making it hard for him to eat, drink, swallow, anything like that. And it got to the point where he was in a nursing home and he had a feeding tube and he was pretty much on his deathbed. And that was 5 years ago, and they told him he had less than a week to live, which was really hard for me because I was only 9 at the time, and I had the chance of losing my father at 9, which I didn't really understand all the facts and stuff about it. So my dad started selling his stuff, some of his stuff, like his vehicles, just in case he did live. He did sell it to people that would take care of it, like family members and stuff, so I could get most of what I wanted when I am 18. And he should have made a will then, but he didn't. He was in denial. And then that's the washer machine draining. I'm in the basement. Sorry, my eyes hurt. And then, so he was in there for 2 years, and then he got out, and he lived with my grandma for 2 more years. And then the last couple years, he's been at home. He was doing great. We've been racing. We've been hanging out every summer because, school and stuff. And this winter actually, he was doing really bad. It was really bad for him. And this summer we had races to go to, and we went to a JJ DeBoss race there in Idaho Falls at our local racetrack that we work at. And he was just in the car pretty much the whole time until we got offered up in the tower where it was warm, it was cool, and he could relax and stuff, and which really helped him because he got to see racing and all that stuff. And then I could go up there and check on him, and then there's people up there nonstop because people like to go up there and hang out when it's cold. And in fact, me and my dad got an hour one-on-one time with JJ because he went up in the tower with his parents, and they were warming up and stuff. So me and my dad sat there and talked for an hour with JJ, and JJ is such a nice guy, and I will do a video on that and show you all the things I've got and stuff like that. But he was doing really bad, and he had air because he was on oxygen because he was having a hard time breathing. And recently he started bleeding into his stomach, and they finally thought they got that stopped, but they did not. And we didn't know that they did not get it fully stopped. My dad was having troubles eating, keeping things down, and all that stuff. And then he was in the hospital 1 week, and then they sent him home, and then he went back to the hospital, and my grandma was being weird about things, and my mom's like, so do we need to go down there so Caitlin can say her goodbyes? And so we planned that, and one day we weren't gonna go until like 2 more days, but then one day my grandma was saying, the last time my grandma and my whole family went down somewhere, it was for my dad and when he was in the nursing home. And my whole family went down to the hospital to see him. And I knew I knew right away in my heart that I told my mom, and I'm like, Mom, we need to go down there tonight, or really early in the morning. I will never forgive myself if I don't get to see my dad before he goes. So we packed our stuff that night and woke up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, because it was like 5 when I said that. We went to bed early, we ate something real quick, and then we went to bed early. We woke up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and we drove to Idaho Falls. We went to our friend Jane's house, and we slept for 2 more hours because we were extremely tired. And then we went to the hospital to visit my father, and I was there pretty much all day. And they put my dad in a sleeping dose coma so I wouldn't have to see how much he was struggling. And he could hear, he could feel, but he couldn't move or talk back. And that was really hard for me not to be able to hear my dad's voice one more time. And I pretty much told everybody to get out of the room. And I told my dad that it was okay for him to go, that it's gonna be hard for me, but it's okay. And that I'm going to miss him with all my heart, but God is saying that it's his time to go. Which was really hard, really hard for me to do. And then everybody came back in. Sorry. Everyone came back in the room, and my dad waited an hour for my grandma to show up. It was May 30th, and a couple minutes after my grandma showed up, my dad's heartbeat started getting slower. His breathing started getting worse. And before I knew it, I saw my dad take his last breath of air. And he squeezed my hand with his last breath of air. And then we heard that devastating, long beep, with no heartbeat, no air pressure, nothing. And I sat there for a minute, and I just held his head. And then they put us in a different room, and I got told that he was on the donors list of anything that he could donate, and the only thing he could donate was his eyes. So someone else has his baby blue eyes, the eyes that I inherited, and I'm not sure who. And we stayed for an hour or so. We went and saw some people, and my sister went with Holly, her friend, and they went and got drunk, which I don't blame them. And then we went to Sizzler, and we ate lunch, and then we drove home. And that night I couldn't sleep. I slept on the couch. I didn't sleep well that night until it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And all of a sudden I felt this weird tingle on my leg, and I knew it was him touching my leg, telling me everything is okay. I'm sorry. But that was the hardest day of my life, honestly. And I cry every night about him, pretty much every night till this day. And now I have to go back to school and hear people that I haven't seen all summer say, "I'm sorry about your dad." Or people not knowing about my dad, and me having to tell them. It's going to be really hard, and I'm probably not going to be very active on anything. If I could say one more thing to my dad, I'd tell him that I love him, and that I love him, and I love him, I love him, I love him, I love him, and I miss him. And that I'm sorry, because there's been some things that I have done lately that I cannot speak of, and feelings that I've had lately that I cannot speak of, and so many things that I cannot speak of. And if and when I can speak about them, I will, but I can't right now. But that was the story of my dad. And I know I cried a lot, and I'm very sorry about that. And it's not easy to watch someone cry about that. So I tried not to cry. I tried my hardest not to cry. And I hope that you guys will understand and not ask me a whole bunch of questions like I've gotten, because it's just going to be really hard for me to answer them. So I will probably most likely not answer them. And if you're wondering why I have this microphone, is because I'm connected to my karaoke machine, because I figured it'd be louder and better. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and comment down below what you'd like me to do a story time on next, or but I'm gonna go. So bye.